But can we just drop the crap about ultimate strategy? If all you believed in was strategy and the possibility of an ultimate strategy, or even the actual existence of an ultimate strategy, I'd have very little problem apart from the potential logical contradiction. What you said, though, was that you believed in God.
But he defines it as
And then you define God as strategy. Well, congratulations. I believe in God because
I was just trying to explain something that you could understand. I could call God a plan. I could call God the ultimate.
What you believe
I don't
but if there's no definition, then you ask me to say, okay, simplify it. And if in the minute I simplify it, then you can attack me on saying that's not God.
No, I don't need you to make analogies. I didn't ask you to simplify. What I asked was, what was your definition of God and why do you believe in it? You chose to use analogies, and you chose to talk about consciousness, and you chose to make a bunch of statements.
I chose to say all-powerful and all-knowing.
Right.
And you said, well, explain something about that. And I said, well, okay, I'll try to explain that.
Ignoring the contradictions with all-powerful and all-knowing, you haven't said anything other than, I believe a God who's all-powerful and all-knowing exists. And my next question is, why do you believe that?
Because I see things unfold in time, in one direction, only one way.
And how does that necessitate a deity that is omnipotent and omniscient? How does that preclude natural processes of time flowing?
Which would also happen in a stream that's one.
Well, then, then what you're saying is what I believe God is.
Nature?
If you call it nature, then I'll agree that it's nature. But I could do the same thing with nature that you did with strategy with me, because it doesn't encompass everything.
You could have resolved all this by simply saying up front that you're a pantheist.
No, because then you would have two gods.
No.
You'd have one.
No.
You'd have one.
Pantheism is the position that God is nature, or God is everything, or God is pantheism is the universe.
And everything that it encompasses.
Or that, there is one thing behind everything.
Now you're a panentheist.
Not that it's everything, but there is something behind everything that's running the show.
Then you're a panentheist. You're saying that God is the universe plus one. God is the universe, and there's something more as well, that it is like the universe plus something that may or may not be imperceptible. But pantheism is belief that God is nature, God is the universe. Panentheism is that God is the universe, but there's something more to it.
But there's another problem, because you define God as omnipotent and omniscient, and I'll say that the universe is neither.
That's depends on how you define all-powerful and all-knowing.
I think what he's saying is it encompasses all power and all knowledge.
Yeah, in that case, you're back to the pantheism, and you've said nothing. I don't understand. Do you think that this God is conscious?
If you take everything as conscious, yes. If you say a rock is conscious,
so basically
which
you have
some religions say, then I would have to agree with that.
I think the question would then be, if you believe that God is more than just the universe, the question is then, why do you believe there's something more than the universe?
No, I believe that it is the explanation of, or it is the essence of how the universe, or let's say the equation or the science of how the universe unfolded, and it could only unfold one way.
But that would be the universe. I mean, that is what the universe does.
It would be the universe, but the universe, when you talk about,
where's the
that's why I went to strategy, because that's like saying, there's strategy to chess, and you're saying, well, you're talking about the chess pieces. No, I'm not talking about the chess pieces. I'm talking about the strategy of chess.
We get that. What you're not getting is that you're using a God label applying it to the universe, asserting that there's something extra, giving it characteristics, and not justifying one bit of it. You have a big, useless definition of knowledge of God, and when challenged on it, all you come back with is, oh, it's natural, it's the universe.
Well, that's why I said religion was suspect, is because suspect is because religion is the explanation of God.
I hadn't challenged your religion is suspect claim. What I challenged was your God is evident claim.
The God is evident. Okay, so I can't prove that there is a God.
But you said he's obvious.
I don't care if you can prove it.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's obvious that there's one thing, you know, there's a basic thing that's running this universe, or a basic thing that allows a basic thing that...
Basically, you're done.
Thing.
Basically, you're done.
The universe does what it does, I think was what we
When you say something is obvious, then it should be damned easy to explain that it's obvious.
No doubt. This mug is obvious.
It's obvious. When you say that you believe in something, it should be something that you can actually define, at least to some degree.
If you want to talk to other people about it, it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy tried to do this from the beginning, and I probably should have just listened to her and stopped the conversation then, because it was clear that this conversation could go nowhere, because, I mean, you might as well, and I promise, I'm not just trying to be mean here. You might as well have just said, I believe in something, I can't really define it, I'm not sure why. Because that's what you ended up doing. You didn't add anything new to a conversation. You didn't justify any of the assertions. You basically made this big emotional argument about how you sense that there's some plan for the universe, that something must be guiding all of this, and I'm just going to label that God. And when you do that, I'd much rather you do that than come in and tell me that your logic teacher defined God and then proved through logic that God existed, and then making analogies to strategy.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, to call all-knowing an attribute of God, and then when you're called on it, you simply say, well, it's all conscious knowledge contained within the universe. Yeah. Well, that's the universe. I mean, if God's all-knowing capacity comes from what the universe, what things are known by things that can know things in the universe, you're talking about the universe.
Plus, I don't necessarily buy this argument from people that I definitely don't buy the shared unconsciousness argument, but this claim that the universe is conscious of itself because it contains conscious entities. Okay, if you want to say that we're part of the universe, then yes, in that sense it's true. We are part of the universe, we are conscious, and therefore some part of the universe is conscious of itself. But to extend that analogy, or to extend that situation to the universe has become conscious, I think is a little bit unrealistic. But
honestly, I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he was saying that the things that are conscious in the universe constitute God's consciousness.
Yes, I was making a side point.
Okay.
I was making a side point based on some other emails we got. But in the end, man, it's, you know, when people ask me, what do you believe or what don't you believe and why? Granted, I don't always have the best answers ready. Sometimes people ask me about things that I haven't really thought about that much. And what usually happens in that case is that I then go off and think about it. So the next time I'm asked that, I at least have some explanation, some answer that I at least understand, hopefully well enough, to be able to convey it to somebody else.
But if you approach somebody with it and then have no idea what you want to talk about, that's what I don't get. It's one thing for someone to ask me what I believe about something I may not have thought about, and I might not have a good answer. But if I go to somebody and I say, I want to tell you about what I believe, and then I can't even define that, what am I approaching people for, to talk about something that I don't even understand myself about what I think?
For those people who think this was all unfair, I don't call out. People call in to this program. And if you call in, you better bring your A game, and you definitely better have an understanding, because I'm really, as much as I'd love to do more educational, hand-holding discussion, I'm really to the point where long calls that don't ever get to any point, start parading in circles, or make inane points, we're just done, and move on from there, because there are people out there that are actually legitimately interested in the subjects that we talk about, on both sides, on the theistic side and on the atheistic side. And I'd much rather have conversations that, with no regard to the two individuals in the conversation, benefit everybody else more. And I don't think that the last couple of calls have actually done that.